of fairies and princesses? Then you've come to the right place. Welcome to Disney Coast to Coast.
Hey folks, and welcome to Disney Coast to Coast, the ultimate unofficial Disney fan podcast. I'm Jeff DePaoli.
And I'm Patrick Dougal.
And Patrick, I have 3 words for you.
So much news?
Toy Story 4.
Oh.
But before we go there, yes, there is so much news. Before we go to Frozen of the Week, I just want to mention a couple of things. Remember a few episodes ago we were talking about this Marvel documentary that's going to be on ABC. It was called Marvel Pulp to Pop, I believe. And at least I said I wasn't sure what this whole pulp thing was. Well, our fabulous DCTC listeners, I love them so much when they write in and answer our questions. Jeremy Bennington wrote in, and the pulp apparently is in reference to the cheap paper they used to use to print the comics on.
Makes sense now.
Yeah, it makes sense, and I actually think that's a fun little factoid. And also, I want to answer a question I guess it's a question for you. As you know, I was at Disneyland yesterday. Went to the Big Thunder Ranch, where the dinner thing. I forget what it's called. But, the Snickerdoodle and pumpkin ice cream, supposedly, according to the cast member I spoke to, gonna be there up until January.
It's good to know.
Yeah.
Either a lot of people didn't order that and they have a lot of extra, or...
Well, the funny thing is that Disneyland's pretty much transformed to Christmas at this point, except Big Thunder is still all autumned out. So they may be keeping it like that through Thanksgiving or whatever. And I was like, well, aren't they going to have a Christmassy dessert instead? And they're like, they're going to have that as well. So,
more options.
We'll see. But in any case, we have more time to go back since we got rained out that one time.
Yeah.
So, cool.
Good to know.
Good to know. Shall we jump into
Frozen News of the Week? Now, for those of you who thought Frozen News, it was kind of winding down for a little bit.
It was.
And then it just, of course, Christmas comes around and it explodes again.
Yes. Huge Frozen News of the Week. In fact, frankly, it could be an entire episode. It's not going to be, but we're probably going to run over today because there's a lot. So what would you like to start with?
Let's just start. One of the biggest things that happened over in Walt Disney World was, the Frozen Holiday Wish.
Yes.
Now, this used to be Cinderella's Christmas Wish, which happened normally towards the dusk time of the park closing or switching over to Very Merry Christmas Party. But Anna and Elsa, Kristoff, and Olaf have taken over.
And Olaf, who, for the first time, first of all, if you haven't seen it, folks, you can see it on YouTube. There are full videos of the entire show and lighting of the castle. But this is the first time, I believe, in a Disney park that we're seeing Olaf as a costume character.
It is.
He's not an animatronic. He's not a puppet. He is a fuzzy character, essentially. We kind of saw this with Disney on Ice, but I don't really count that. And it's kind. What do you think of him?
I like him.
I wish his mouth moved.
You can say that about any.
No, for some reason, agreed, but I don't know. Olaf, I was like, I don't know. I kind of wish his mouth moved. But yeah, it was cool. It was. Was that a surprise, or did people?
It wasn't really. It was announced that he was going to be in the show, but no one really knew how.
Yeah, so I
think it was supposed to be kind of a little nod, because even on that first day, they did media meet and greets with him. Now, I believe they'll start doing meet and greets with him during the Christmas parties, but as of now, there's still no public meet and greet for him. Cool. You can only check him out in the show, and he's also in the parade.
What'd you think of the show?
Well, first, one of the cool things about it is usually Cinderella's Christmas Wish happened once, and because Frozen's so big, they're actually doing
once a night.
Yeah, once a night. They're actually doing it twice a night.
Yeah.
So if you miss it, you can check it out again.
It's always weird when, because I mentioned in previous episode, they do light Sleeping Beauty Castle several times a night, and it's always weird to, watch the castle melt after a while, because, we gotta prepare for the next lighting, so the lights are dimming. So that's always a little strange.
They usually never happen, but I guess now it happens with 2 of them.
Yeah.
But, the show itself, I love the castle lighting portion of the show.
Agreed.
Unfortunately, I thought the whole beginning part, up until that part, was a bit of a chore to sit through.
Yeah, chore is an interesting choice. It didn't excite me. Here's the thing. I think people just want to see Anna and Elsa.
Yeah.
And so, and Disney is trying to, appease people. And so waiting hours in line to meet them is a pain. And so they're like, well, let's stick them in a parade. Let's stick them in a show. Let's just get it so people can get that photo of the character. And so this is another excuse to do that.
Yeah.
It's not brilliantly written.
No, I think the
anything.
script could have definitely been a lot better. But the last 3 minutes of it, I thought was amazing.
I think it's only about 8 or 9 minutes long altogether, so it's not super long. They use the map projection technology as part of the lighting of the castle. And did they do that with the Cinderella's version?
I don't believe they could have done it past couple years, but Cinderella's been doing it for a while now. So originally, it obviously never had that.
I actually didn't care for the map projection portion. I thought it was fine. I just didn't think, as you know, I like to see something new. And I like to, I don't know, like when we saw the map projection used in, I think it was Tokyo, and we saw like the beast climbing the castle and stuff, and we're like, whoa, that's so cool. I've never seen anything like that. For this, I felt like it was just more of the same old stuff. And it actually went on for quite a bit. Like, it was the entire Let It Go song that they pretty much played an instrumental version of. So I don't know, it didn't rock my world. It was fine. It didn't offend me. It was fine.
I'd rather have it there than not have it there.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, so that was cool. That happened. As we've said in the past, Christmas is officially happening at Walt Disney World. Aside from that, at Walt Disney World, the whole Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom game that they have going on, which is this whole interactive thing, we were talking about it at Halloween. They put out special cards every once in a while. Well, guess what? Elsa's got a special card, so now you can play with that, and you only get that if you're attending Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party.
Correct.
So, cha-ching, even more money. Yay! And, speaking of Christmassy stuff, over here at Disneyland...
Christmassy, speaking of more Frozen
stuff, yeah. So, of course, Anna and Elsa have made it into a Christmas fantasy parade here at Disneyland. Now, I don't know if you remember, but when they first announced that Anna and Elsa were going to be doing a pre-parade for our Mickey Sensational Parade, I believe I said on this show, I know that I said it in real life, I think I said on this show, that I had a feeling they were just going to take a float from the Christmas parade and redo it.
And they did.
And it is now definitely confirmed that that's exactly what they did, because Mickey and Minnie's normal float, the ice skating float, doesn't exist anymore because it was transformed for Anna and Elsa for the pre-parade, and it is now in Christmas Fantasy Parade, which means Mickey and Minnie have a new location.
So what I've read about this is...
I saw the parade yesterday.
Frozen displaced Mickey and Minnie, who displaced Donald and Daisy, who displaced Mrs. Claus.
Who doesn't exist anymore.
Who is just completely gone.
Which is a little sad.
No, in retrospect, Frozen just displaced Mrs. Claus, which I'm fine with. I would rather have Anna and Elsa than Mrs. Claus there.
Yeah, the cool thing about Mrs. Claus is what she was mic'd, and so she would interact with the crowd, which was nice. It's not that big a deal. It's really not. Apparently some people are very upset about this.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Claus, you can go. We don't need you here.
Mrs. Claus.
We don't need you.
Couldn't they put her up in the sleigh next to Santa?
No one
Nope.
likes you.
There's this thing called a budget that we need to live by. Budget. So yes, that happened. Other than that, not many changes to the Christmas Fantasy Parade. But more Frozen.
Still on Frozen News of the Week.
This is insane. Over 3 million Elsa dresses have now been sold in the U.S. alone.
Honestly, that number, it doesn't affect... I'd say okay. Like, I would agree with it. I was like...
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just like, that's insane. 3 million... Here's the thing that I think we're all forgetting at this point. It still has not been a full year since this movie came out.
No, we still
November
got, like,
27th is a full year. So that's crazy to think the effect that Frozen has had on the world. Mm-hmm. I mean, they have their own section on the Disney Coast to Coast podcast. That's how big they are.
Yeah. So big.
No, like, seriously, that's an impressive number. 3 million. And, of course, tons of Frozen merchandise. And guess what? There was a big fight in a store between some moms.
Of course. I joined in.
You joined in? Did you break up the fight?
Yeah, I did.
No, it happened in a place called Pound World, which I've never heard of. Have you heard of a Pound World?
Apparently this is over in the UK.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, it wasn't over dresses, but it was over, like, Frozen stationery and such.
Makeup and
apparently, like, they put this stuff out and it sells out in under 40 minutes, which is insane.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Somebody should make a reality show.
Yeah. Moms of Frozen.
Moms in Disney parks in general.
There is a whole section on that as well.
Yeah. Any other Frozen news of the week, Patrick?
Of course there is. Over at DCA for Christmas, of course, Frozen premiered for Winter's Dream, I believe. World of Color Winter's Dream?
World of Color Winter Dreams.
Yeah. Olaf narrated it. You had a Let It Go section, but they're adding even more Frozen to it.
Mm-hmm. Now, yeah, because that started last year, so now there's an updated version. Yep. More.
So Olaf is still narrating. We're getting more Frozen, so...
That's
Frozen
happening.
World of Color.
Now, just to be clear, Christmas has not officially started here at Disneyland. A lot of it's here.
Yeah, I think it officially starts on
Friday, the 13th. Ooh, Friday the 13th!
Ooh.
I'm so excited!
Christmas and Halloween.
Oh my god, I hope
Haunted Mansion.
I hope that date is correct, because I love Friday the 13th.
I think it is.
I just got really excited for no reason. That's awesome. Yeah, so more in the ice rink. The Olaf's ice rink is coming back to downtown Disney, but there is a little bit of a correction we have to make.
Yes,
a big correction actually.
Yeah, not a little correction.
Many weeks ago, I can't even remember when. I feel like it was a while ago. We spoke about a Frozen of the Week about a huge Frozen Hollywoodland. Yeah, Frozen Hollywoodland
to DCA, which was pretty much mirroring what Hollywood Studios had for the Summer of Fun, except they were going to bring it over to DCA and Winter of Fun, and we were supposed to get the sing-along and the meet and greet at DCA and all that stuff. Well, apparently all these sites were saying all this is true, but of course, this past week on Disney Parks blog, they released all their stuff new coming to for Christmas to the parks, and none of that was on there.
We've been duped. Like, we were seriously duped. And, I mean, I'm so bothered by this. First of all, I called Disneyland, and I was like, so I read about all this stuff. You were going to have an ice rink in Stage 17. You were going to have the sing-along in Muppet Vision 3D. You were going to have character drawings at Animation. You were going to have meet and greets over at Animation by Turtle Talk. And they're like, we have no idea what you're talking about. And I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, so you guys must have canceled it. They're like, we've never heard of this. I'm like,
yeah.
Because, of course, I have Disneyland on speed dial. So, yeah, like, seriously. And so I went back and researched the articles that we were doing, and it was all, fan sites and stuff. And it was all unofficial rumors, I guess. But the thing that convinced me, I don't know about you, but the thing that convinced me was the amount of detail in these articles that I read was, I mean, very, very specific. It sounded like news as opposed to like, this is a rumor. Folks, it's all rumors.
So yeah,
we have to take it back. We apologize, and we're bummed.
Yeah.
I mean, you had a special hat made, didn't you?
I mean, you can still meet there's really nothing more than what you can go ice skating at
Olaf's
Disney.
Rink. Yeah,
you can go still meet them over at Walt Disney World. I mean,
at Disneyland.
Disneyland. I'm getting all confused. So much Frozen.
You can fly to Florida to meet. No,
you can.
You could. Yes, you can meet them at Disneyland still. But
so really, the only thing you're losing is
away,
just
so that's good.
DCA side of it.
And honestly, I would not be surprised still if Olaf becomes one of the characters at Animation Academy if it hasn't already. So. But that was a major wah-wah surprise to us.
Lessons learned, even though all these rumor sites can be spouting out all this stuff, it's not always true.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of had that happen recently, although these we knew were rumors with the whole Cars Land thing going to Hollywood Studios, and we found out it's probably just an expansion on Toy Story Midway Mania. But that was very clearly like people's theories, whereas the Frozen thing seems so legit.
Yeah.
It was crazy. One other Frozen news of the week. This is kind of cool. Taubman Malls. I'm not familiar with Taubman Malls, but they're doing like a whole Frozen experience in 10 malls in the U.S., and it's kind of just to promote the sing-along DVD. Uh-huh. But apparently you're going to like be able to, I think they said meet Olaf there. There's going to be, in fact, some of them are like joining up with Santa Claus. So I'm curious who will have a bigger line, Santa Claus or Olaf.
Definitely Olaf.
That'll be
Let's be honest here.
They'll probably have opening day. They'll have two separate lines and they'll be like, oh no, this is embarrassing for Santa. Let's put them together. But it's kind of cool. I wish that there was one near here. There's one in California, but it's like 5 hours from LA. So I'm not driving 5 hours.
No. But it looks like there's this huge setup. Obviously, you said it was to promote the DVD. You can go. I think they said they'd have like karaoke set up. So if you want to let it go, you can let it go.
Yep.
Get your Disney Frozen Fig at your closest mall.
Yeah, I wish it was like Simon Malls doing it across the country. Todman I've never heard of, personally. Have you heard of Simon Malls, though, right? Yes? No?
Nope.
No, okay. Most of the malls I know are Simon Malls, so... it's a bummer. It's kind of cool, but...
If you live by one,
yeah, totally. Go to, I think it's just todmanmall.com, and they have a list of the places where they'll be. There were a couple in Florida... none in Massachusetts, because I checked. I was like, well, I'm home for Christmas, maybe. But that's not happening. But yeah, I think that's our Frozen News of the Week.
And we're already halfway through the episode.
We're 15 minutes in, folks. And, yep, we're going long tonight. But as I said, I started tonight's episode with 3 golden words. They were...
So much news.
No! What were they, Patrick?
Toy Story 7.
No, 4.
Oh, yes, Big Hero 8.
Yes, Big Hero 8. Yes, that's happening. Toy Story 4. Now, this was kind of shocking news.
Yeah.
What was your immediate reaction?
My immediate reaction was...
Well, actually, before we go, let's just... The big announcement and the exciting announcement attached to Toy Story 4 is the fact that John Lasseter is directing
it.
Yeah.
Oh, we were almost close.
We were good for 4 words. John Lasseter is directing.
I just had it.
Yeah. You got a little overexcited.
Sorry.
It's all right. No, but that's exciting news.
Yeah.
So in any case, so the news was there's gonna be a Toy Story 4 and John Lasseter's directing it. It's coming out June 16th, 2017. First impressions, go.
Very, very first impressions. I'm not gonna deny it. I'll be happy to see it, but I thought the third one ended so perfectly that I don't know how they'll top it.
Yes, I would agree. I think most people had that impression, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't think they would let us down. Like, I just don't think they would take that risk with those characters if it, with John Lasseter directing, if the script wasn't brilliant. So it's like a mixed, and frankly, I'm sure I had that impression with Toy Story 3 as well, because Toy Story 2 is really good. Like, Toy Story 2 topped Toy Story. And we're like, oh, God, that was so good. How are you going to top that? And Toy Story 3 is amazing. It is the perfect ending. I love the fact that these characters have been kept alive through, like, their animated shorts and their TV specials. I kind of felt like that's just how they were going to be kept alive. But, you know, we're getting Toy Story 4.
Yeah, to me, one of the main reasons is because Bonnie's cool and all, but I don't think she's an Andy.
I know. It would be kind of cool if like a grown-up Andy makes a cameo.
See, this is the reason why I connected so much with Toy Story is between the different time gaps, I was always the same age as Andy.
Yeah.
The moment Toy Story 3 came out, I was in my freshman year of college, and Andy was going to college.
Okay.
And when Toy Story, the first 2 came out, those beginning years, I was the same age as Andy. I was always the same age as Andy.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I just connected with Andy.
Do you write your name on the bottom of your toys?
I do.
Nice.
I don't.
You do in your underwear as well, don't you? You just write
I
Patrick.
write my name on the bottom of my shoe.
Yeah, nice. So you don't forget. I digress. But no, it's interesting. I don't think they'll disappoint us. No. I really don't.
Especially, I was more excited when I found out that John Lasseter would be directing.
Yeah, I was super stoked because he hasn't directed since I think it was Cars 2. So I'm ready for him to...
But if it's anything like Cars 2...
It's gotta be better than Cars 2. It's gotta be better than Cars 2.
I'll be honest, I didn't even see Cars 2. So.
I did. I saw it at the drive-in, double feature with one of the Pirates movies. Talk about disappointment all around. Anywho, yeah, so that's exciting.
Yeah. Speaking of Disney movies, Star Wars... Episode 7, also 2 things. They wrapped this past week or last week. Yeah. So shooting is done and an official title has been released. Star Wars Episode 7, The Force
Awakens.
Perfect title.
Yeah, I don't know why people are making such a big deal about this. People are upset about this. People think it's cheesy.
I've heard nothing but good news from the title.
I've definitely heard people complaining about it and the Twitterverse and all that stuff.
Get over yourself.
How are you going to get upset about that? Like, The Force Awakens. What is wrong with that?
Nothing.
A lot of people are like, well, when was it sleeping? Like, was it not awake in 4 through 6? Or like, so I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm not that worried about it.
You haven't seen the movie? What if it's gone in the beginning and then comes back towards the end?
Yeah.
You'll know these things.
Yeah, I'm excited. What is it? It's basically a year from now, pretty much.
Year from December
We're going to be seeing
2015.
Star Wars. Jeez, that's kind of awesome. So that's
we actually should be hearing a lot of information D23 in 2015.
Oh, yeah, the D23, maybe they'll have a whole Star Wars panel, like just Star Wars. And I think, what did we hear? We're going to see a Star Wars trailer before Cinderella, perhaps? I've heard something about a Star Wars trailer coming very soon.
I don't think it'll be attached to Cinderella. What we talked about attached to Cinderella is the Frozen.
Yeah, the short's definitely going there.
I haven't heard anything about trailers.
I've heard rumors about some trailers, so that's
either
exciting.
way, it's coming. Mm-hmm. It's done. It's in post-production. Woohoo! Gotta wait a year.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, you know what it is? I've heard John Williams is scoring the trailer, like, this week.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, it's coming.
Anyway, switching over from movies to the parks. Mm-hmm. Heading back over to Walt Disney World for Christmas.
Speaking of people making a big deal out of nothing...
I don't know if it's nothing. I'm kind of disappointed by it a little bit, too.
Okay, but let's say what we're talking about first.
Okay, Main Street has always been totally decked out for the holidays. Mm-hmm. Garland, wreaths, all the time. So, there used to be garland and wreaths strung all the way across Main Street from one side to another. So, as you walk, they're on top of you, whatever.
Exactly as they do at Disneyland.
Yeah.
So it's above your head.
Cool. So, of course, Festival of Fantasy premiered this year, and the floats are massive. Mm-hmm. You have Maleficent, you have the Mickey's Balloon, huge floats. The garland was so low that these floats couldn't pass through, obviously, during the daytime, so they made a change. Mm-hmm. It no longer goes all the way over. They have these
beautiful ornamental hooks coming off of the buildings that the wreaths hang from. It's not that big of a deal.
Ugh, so ugly.
I actually like it for one reason. So Cinderella Castle is at the end of Main Street. Everybody wants that photo from like the other end of Main Street looking with the castle all the way down. Now at Christmas time, when you had those wreaths and garland hanging across, it kind of obstructed part of the castle. So right now, when you get those photos, you've got the nice wreaths hanging off the buildings and the castle.
But if you took it from the train station, it'd look really cool.
Okay, well, now you can do it from the street as well. I really don't think it's that big a deal.
It's really not that big a deal.
But the Twitterverse, you'd think somebody died.
Sometimes, some people are complaining just it looks cheap. Some people don't like the white. I don't know. Whatever.
I actually thought the hooks were beautiful.
People are saying that they had all this time to think about it since Festival of Fantasy premiered in March.
I wonder if it was something that they probably did, but I wonder if it was one of those things when they were building the floats. They were like, oh God, this is going to affect the Christmas decorations. Or if it was like, it opens is like, oh, this is going to affect the Christmas decorations.
I think they always knew that because I remember when Festival of Fantasy premiered, people were talking about it. People were like, something's going to happen for Christmas because we cannot have those garlands. So that's a change. Take it or leave it. It's there.
I think it looks nice. I mean, obviously I haven't seen it in person, but from what I've seen of photos, I think it looks nice. And I do think it makes for better photo opportunities. And if you really miss it, just fly to California and check it out at Disneyland.
There you go.
They weren't up as of yesterday, by the way.
Okay.
Here at Disneyland. So yeah, that's it. Another weird thing that's happening here is, so the official name of the Christmas party at Walt Disney World is Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. There are billboards out there, though, that say Mickey's Very Merry Party, minus the word Christmas. I find this strange. Why are people so hung up on this word? It's Christmas, folks. Happy holidays to everything, but it's Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. Why are people offended by this word?
I don't think...
Drives me crazy.
I have no answer.
Okay.
I could care less either way.
Yeah.
Call it whatever you want as long as I can go in there.
Exactly. So, Mickey's Very Merry Holiday Wintry Frozen Party.
I'll take it.
Okay. As long as it's all there. Also, at Walt Disney World, this is some kind of cool news because I believe this is the first year this is happening. Meet and greet. Jack
With
Skellington.
Sandy Claus.
As Sandy Claus.
Yeah.
That's first year, right?
Yes.
That's awesome.
It's actually been only 2 years since he started meet and greeting regularly at the Halloween party.
Oh, okay.
So we've only had Jack Skellington.
So we've had him longer at Disneyland.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is only his third year ever at the parks.
Okay. Well, I've discussed with you in person. I don't think I have on the show. I don't like the Jack Skellington costume. I find it weird. He's a half-faced character, I guess, where his jaw is seen so that he can speak, and then like from above his nose is all mask. I think it's a little weird. I would actually rather it be a full-on mask. But having said that, the Sandy Claus thing I think is rather awesome.
Yeah.
Have you seen the video of it?
I have.
It's pretty cool.
I would definitely like to meet and greet with him.
Yeah.
Hopefully they bring that over to Disney.
I haven't heard anything about it at Disneyland, but maybe next year. He's meeting at Storybook Circus, which it's inside a tent over by Dumbo. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. And it's only during Very Merry Christmas Party. Or Very Merry Party, whichever you prefer.
Any way you want it.
And in addition, more Christmas stuff happening at Walt Disney World. The Jingle Cruise is back.
Yay, kinda. They made improvements.
They did. And I'm happy to say, I was speaking with a cast member yesterday, that the Jungle Cruise is currently shut down at Disneyland, prepping for the Jingle Cruise, and just like Florida, they've made major enhancements. My guess is they got major complaints last year because, as I'm sure you've heard us talk about on this show, they really advertised it as like a holiday overlay.
Yeah, almost to the point of like Haunted Mansion holiday overlay.
And it really wasn't. It was, they put holly on some of the boats, and they had a few Christmassy jokes, and maybe the skipper wore a Santa hat, I don't even remember. But like, there was nothing in the ride. Well, this year, from the photos I've seen in Florida, they've really decked out the ride, and supposedly that's happening here as well.
Great.
So, happy to hear that.
We'll let you know how it goes.
Yes, speaking of that nice transition from Walt Disney World to Disneyland, Jungle Cruise, Jingle Cruise, let's stay at Disneyland now. Haunted Mansion Holiday, which has been open for a while.
Yes.
They finally opened the Fast Pass for it.
Yeah, the Fast Pass has been closed the whole Halloween season.
Yeah. And now it's open. And I used it yesterday because I was like, thank God, I don't want to wait in line for this. But I don't know what the reasoning was. It's not like they were using that for any other reason. I'm not sure why they waited so long.
I think, I don't know, my guess is maybe they were just testing out the line if they didn't use it.
Well, I enjoy the Fast Pass option.
Yeah, I can't give you an answer for that, but it's open now, so
yeah,
use it if you will.
What else is happening at Disneyland, Patrick?
Well, I don't know what's happening.
Patrick's favorite thing. We have a meet and greet with the cast of Big Hero 6, including Baymax and Hiro.
I was going to say, by the cast you mean just Baymax and Hiro.
Yes, Baymax and Hiro. The first and third most popular character in the movie.
Fine with me.
Yeah, I met them, and as did you.
I did. Let's say, I like to brag about the fact that last year I saw the very first public set of Anna and Elsa in Epcot 2 weeks before the movie Frozen came out. They had like a 5-minute wait, believe it or not, because
nobody knew
yet. So I had to go to their very first public meet and greet at Disneyland, and just wanted to brag about that.
Well, I gotta say, Baymax is spectacular.
Amazing.
Spectacular. As I've said before, I had always been hoping it was going to be like a fluffy, inflatable Baymax. It is. Mm-hmm. He doesn't have his armor on. I hugged him like crazy. It's really funny because when you press your ear up against his chest, you can hear the fan inside because he's legitimately inflatable, folks. Like, it's awesome.
He's a robot.
And he blinks, and he couldn't fist bump with me. Hiro had to fist bump me for him.
He's very similar to a Sully or Wreck-It Ralph, where his movement is very limited,
but kind of like in the perfect way because he is in the movie.
Yes.
His entrance, well, you must have seen his entrance.
Yeah.
So cute. He walks through the door sideways. He looks down at the floor. I mean, it is the cutest thing I've ever... I loved it. I loved it.
The only thing I would absolutely love is some of the technology they use over at Universal Studios with Transformers is they have vocal cues.
Yeah.
And I think he would be a perfect character to have those vocal cues for because he's so robotic.
There's a lot of stuff I would like to see them do. I would love for them to project inside of his belly. Like,
that's too much.
It's not too much. It would be amazing. Because here's the thing. When you're dealing with robots, like, I love it when you can meet a character and it is exactly like what's in the movie. You can do that with Kermit the Frog. You can meet exactly who's the guy that's in the movie. You can do that with robots. And I feel like Baymax is that. So in any case, it's fantastic as is. Of course, we always want more, us being Disney fans and all. But, it's a great meet and greet. I highly, highly suggest it. We didn't speak of Hiro, but whatever. Hiro's there. He's kind of, I'm just gonna say it, he's kind of more of like Baymax's handler than anything.
Yeah, definitely.
Very nice Hiro I met. He's a very, very nice guy. But Baymax is, man, did I hug him. I was so excited to meet Baymax. I love that movie. If you haven't seen it, go see it. By the way, #1 at the box office, beat Interstellar. That's huge.
Not by much, but
but it did beat it.
But speaking of Big Hero 6, they're also releasing some food items inspired by San Francisco, the city in the movie, which is a mixture of Tokyo and San Francisco, and they're having teriyaki hot dogs.
Yeah, this is the San Francisco teriyaki street dog. I think it's only here at Disneyland.
Yeah.
And they're selling it at the Award Wieners hot dog stand, which is in Hollywoodland at Disney California Adventure. It's teriyaki glazed all beef hot dog on a garlic chive roll topped with wasabi mayonnaise, ginger, and a carrot and cucumber slaw. I was this close to trying it. If you can't see me, so my fingers are very close together right now. I was really close to trying it yesterday.
And you didn't?
I didn't because I was like super full.
Okay. I was gonna say, because this sounds like something I would definitely try.
Yeah, we've got to try it sometime. It's like an $8 hot dog. And here's the thing, I don't really like hot dogs very much. They're gross just to think of, but, I kind of have to try this, so we gotta go and at least split teriyaki glazed San Francisco teriyaki street.
Definitely something interesting.
Yes. Also, we're going a little over here today. You don't mind, Patrick, do you?
Nope.
Okay, then we're gonna keep talking. Fantasmic has something big. Not really to the show, but this is kind of big news for Fantasmic at Disneyland.
Yeah, I was surprised how big of a news this is, because it's always been a thing at Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, it's always been a thing at Hollywood Studios because it's a seated area. Whereas if at Disneyland, it's in the general Rivers of America area. This is big news for me for one reason alone. Whenever something is plussed or changed in a positive light for Fantasmic, all of that means to me is it's sticking around. They have no end in sight for this, which is great, considering this is a show that was supposed to run for 5 years and is now in its 22nd. That's fabulous, fabulous news. What we're talking about, folks, is the Fantasmic viewing rules are changing. Now, the actual rule, I'm not excited about because this really screws up my Fantasmic viewing experience. Like World of Color, it's going to be a fast pass situation for most of the viewing. It's going to be broken up into sections, and you're going to have to get a fast pass, which will assign you which show you're going to and which section you're going to be in. I have a secret spot I like to, it's not secret, but I have a spot I like to stand in. And as long as I show up an hour before, I'm always able to get it. I did it last night. And this kind of screws up my plans, not gonna lie. So I'm kind of bummed about it. And of course, on top of the fast passes, guess what? They have tons of dining options, including the Blue Bayou and others as well, that will get you priority viewing for Fantasmic. The good news about this is people, which I don't even think you really believed me when I first told you, is how early people sit to watch the 9 p.m. Fantasmic. Like, there will be
4 p.m.
Yeah, 4 p.m. People are out by the Rivers of America with blankets, which I don't blame them. I say to everybody who goes to Disneyland, if it's their first time, or even if they've been before, if you have not seen Fantasmic, in my opinion, you have not seen Disneyland. It's like when people go to New York City and they don't see a Broadway show, I'm like, well, then you've never been to New York City, in my opinion. Fantasmic is the greatest thing ever. And it's going to prevent that crazy lineup, which I guess is good, but it never bothered me. To me, if you wanted to wait 5 hours, wait 5 hours. Good for you.
To me, I like this structure better. I think it keeps things more organized and more structured.
Agreed.
It's kind of a madhouse when it's a free-for-all. People just kind of stand anywhere they want, especially the fact that
they have roped off areas.
There's a lot of times where people will start standing somewhere, and then like 30 minutes later, finally a cast member come by and like, oh, you can't stand there. Like, Why don't you tell me that 30 minutes ago?
Yeah.
But, no, I definitely like the way World of Color is set up and structured, so hopefully this adds more organization to the process, because it's not a lot of room compared to, like, Hollywood Studios. The theater doesn't even open until, like, an hour beforehand. And it's which is why I'm so surprised how, like, people start camping out at 4 p.m. for this show. But, I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, it's less viewing if you don't want to pay for the dining package, but that starts on December 12th. Mm-hmm. So
over by the Fast Pass will be over by the Big Thunder Trail. One little thing I just want to say about Fantasmic, as I mentioned, I saw it last night. The Mark Twain riverboat is currently being renovated or cleaned up or whatever. So therefore, that changes the finale of the show with the characters coming out. And because of that, that means the characters come out on the island, which means there's not enough time to bring up and get rid of the dragon, which means there's currently no dragon. So if you're a Fantasmic fan and you've seen it a million times and you just want to see that dragon, I'd say skip it for now until the Mark Twain's finished. But if you're coming to Disneyland for the week and you've never seen it, it's still a fantastic show. You should still see it. And then just watch the dragon on YouTube or something.
Cool.
But it was a disappointment to me last night. I was like, oh, man. I was with somebody who it was the first time at Disneyland. And I was like, oh, we gotta see Fantasmic. And he loved the show. Loved it. I was like, if only you knew.
If only you knew the real show.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's big news. I think that's crazy. Also, we're going to talk briefly about this because we haven't seen it yet, but Hunchback of Notre Dame has opened at the La Jolla Playhouse.
Yes.
We're going on November 30th, so of course we'll have tons more to say about it after we see it. But let's just say, this is a musical I have been waiting for to happen
forever.
For a really long time.
To me, it's such an obvious choice that this is to be adapted to stage that I don't know why it's taken so long for it to happen. Well, it has been. It has been over overseas, but they finally brought it over here.
Like, I think it was Germany, right?
Yeah. And I don't know why it's taken so long for them to bring it over.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure the reasoning either. From the reviews are through the roof fantastic. The images I've seen, it is beautiful. From what I'm hearing, this show is going directly to Broadway, so I'm so excited to see this. Really excited to see it. And like I said, we will have so much more to say after we see it. And if you are near, it's in San Diego, folks, so we're making like a 2+ hour drive to see it. If you're anywhere near San Diego, if you can get a ticket, I highly suggest doing it.
Tickets are very limited right now.
Once it goes to Broadway, it's going to be like a $250 ticket. So see it for your 100 or less, or what is it? I think max ticket's like 125 or something like that. So it's going to be awesome. And other than that, I think just a couple dates we want to mention before we sign off, unless there's anything else. Nope. Cool. Zootopia got an official release date, March 4th, 2016, which is actually sooner than I expected. I thought that they were having issues with that one, but I guess they're getting their stuff together. So Zootopia, March 4th, 2016, and Moana, which we spoke about a bit on a previous episode, November 23rd, 2016. So 2 Walt Disney animations next year, plus some Pixar. What's coming out next year, Pixar? Anything?
I believe we have Inside Out.
Inside Out's coming out.
And I believe Good Dinosaur should be out next year, late next year.
Is that going to happen? Good Dinosaur.
It's still scheduled. It's still scheduled.
Okay.
So,
cool. That's a lot of Disney animation.
And they did originally announce, I believe they announced Finding Dory 2016, but they pushed it back to 2017.
Okay. Cool.
I believe.
Crazy.
Yeah. And one last thing, I know, did you go to the parade taping yesterday?
Oh, I did. Yes. Well, it wasn't a parade taping.
Well, it was the talent.
I'm pretty sure you will see me on television Christmas Day. I was right next to the host.
Well, one thing I want to mention is we talked about the Very Merry name change, but we also have a name change.
Oh, yes. How could I forget?
For the parade this year.
If you don't know what we're talking about, on Christmas Day on ABC, they always air what they call the
Disney Christmas Day Parade.
Christmas Day, the Disney Parks Christmas Day Parade, I believe is the traditional name of it, where it's both Walt Disney World and Disneyland, and they show basically our Christmas parades plus celebrity concerts and such. And of course, it's a big commercial for the parks as well. And I love it. And
of course
I love it. In fact, I believe last year I was sitting at home watching it. You were in Florida, and we were like texting back and forth about it. Although I don't know if you watched it.
I watched it.
Oh, you were watching it? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So we were texting. Oh, because we were in the same time zone. That was a big deal at the time because I was always 3 hours behind you but I was home in Boston for Christmas. Why am I telling all of you people
I
this?
don't know.
I have no idea.
Anywhere.
But they've changed the name to...
I don't even... Frozen...
It's a Frozen something. Here's the thing. I've actually heard several different names of it. Some of it didn't have the word Christmas in it, kind of like the whole Very Merry Christmas Party, Very Merry Party. The signs that they had hung up at Disneyland mentioned Frozen, also mentioned Christmas. But the title Frozen is in the title of the Christmas.
Yeah, I vaguely remember like Frozen Christmas Celebration.
Yeah. So, of course... I guess that's Frozen News of the Week as well. Let's just start all over. Let's just start from the top. And yeah, so that's crazy. But yeah, the taping was fun. It was a hot day. So it was early November that we're shooting the Christmas Day Parade, and I got to see Train, which is a band that I love. And like I said, unless they cut the whole segment, I'm pretty sure you're going to see my mug on television Christmas morning.
Awesome. So we'll also keep the dates for Walt Disney World. Their taping should be coming up in the beginning of December.
Yeah.
But we will let you guys know.
Yep.
And moving on to trivia.
Trivia! You want to hit me or shall I?
Sure. This is kind of centered around Walt Disney World, but we'll see if you can get it.
Okay, I've been there a few times.
Okay, well, this is usually a character that only comes out around the Christmas time at Walt Disney World. He may come out here.
Okay.
I'm not sure. But he used to do meet and greets at the Contemporary, but he is also at the Christmas party.
Is that the Christmas party? He's Christmas related, I assume. Mm-hmm. He's a Disney character?
Yes.
Okay. A Christmas related Disney character. Is he from a movie?
Yes.
He's from a movie. A Christmas related.
Not a theatrical release movie.
Okay. Is it like an overlay character? Or is it like an actual original character? Is it Uncle Scrooge McDuck?
It is Scrooge McDuck.
Cool. I don't think he comes out here.
Yeah, he used to do meet and greets.
I love, by the way, Mickey's Christmas Carol. Christmas Carol is one of my favorite books of all time. I love Mickey's Christmas Carol. So that's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, he used to do meet and greets at the Contemporary, but actually met him last year over at the Christmas party. I believe if they changed him or not, but when I met him, he was right outside Storybook Circus. They kind of do like a pop-up. But yeah, go check out Scrooge McDuck, because you only meet him this time of year.
Yeah, that's awesome. I remember when DuckTales was on TV, you got to meet him a lot, but that doesn't happen anymore. That's cool. That was an awesome guest, Jeffrey. Nice job.
Good job.
Ding! We were speaking of Fantasmic earlier. As we all know, there are 3 versions of Fantasmic. There's one at Disneyland, there's one at Walt Disney World, and there's one at Tokyo Disney Sea. Do you have any idea the premiere dates of the 3 different ones, at least the years?
Well, you said it was the 22nd.
Yep, good job for paying attention there.
2014, 1998.
Patrick, how old are you?
Oh, 1992.
There you go, 1992.
I can't do math after work.
There we go. 1992, it was actually May 13th, 1992. And as I also mentioned, by the way, good job for paying attention there. As I also mentioned, it was supposed to run 5 years, so it was supposed to be done in 1997. So very impressive. Very impressive run. How about Florida?
I want to say...
Why don't you use your bad math skills and say what you just said?
1998.
1998. Ding, ding, ding.
I knew it.
It was it's spot on. It was October 15th.
So it's 16. I was going to say, I feel like it's 15th or 16th year.
Yeah, it's October 15th, 1998 in Florida. I remember I was there that opening year and being super, because I had seen the Disneyland one at that point. I think I actually saw the Disneyland one its opening year as well. Crazy. Huh. How about Tokyo Disney Sea?
Oh, this is blindly guessing.
Do it.
2004.
No. It's actually a lot newer than that.
2009.
One more guess.
2010.
Nope. April 28th, 2011.
2011.
Yep. You were close.
Wow, it's that new?
It's pretty new, yeah. And it's very, very different than the other 2. Very different. So yeah, anyway, folks, we ran long this week, and we had a blast doing it. We hope you had a blast listening. As always, connect with us on DisneyCoastToCoast.com. Email us at DisneyCoastToCoast@gmail.com. Follow us on what, Patrick?
Which social media?
Social media. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr.
Apple Pay.
No.
We can use that in the parks.
Yes, nice. That's gonna do it for us this week. Thanks for thanks for listening. We'll see you next
Have a
time.
magical week.
Thanks for listening to Disney Coast to Coast. Have a magical day.